Hi and welcome to Knit with Hannah. We are looking today at the Rowan magazine for autumn 25-26. So it goes through to winter as well. Lots of wintry patterns in here. So this is the new one. We did a review of last year's autumn winter magazine as well. Obviously I thought we have to do the next one. So just a few things to note. This is full of patterns and some of them are available individually on the Rowan website. So if you want to go and do that, get them as digital downloads on the website instead of buying the whole magazine, that's an option. If you find a few things, then you could always ask for this magazine for Christmas and kind of save up for the yarn as well. If you're knitting Christmas gifts at the moment, then it's certainly something to think about as a knit for after Christmas. And these kind of knits that are in here are classics. They're going to last you for years. So there's no real pressure to say, I have to knit this now because it's trendy. It's something that you can knit over time. It's something you could start knitting in January and say, I want it for next September, or I even want it for the middle of next winter, and know that it might take time to knit it. I've had something on my needle since September last year, started knitting it, it was going very well, and then my health went downhill again and haven't really been able to pick it up. I'm at a point in the pattern where I know I've got to think more. My brain isn't quite working like that at the moment. I was knitting a bookmark yesterday evening, so that is my knitting at the moment. Just little things like this. And what I've also done over the last couple of months is a few scarves and some for a new pattern. That will happen at some point. A few scarves and a couple of baby blankets because I'm trying out the pattern in a different way as well. So there's an ease to my knitting at the moment. There are easy knitting patterns in here. It really does depend on your level of knitting, on what you feel easy and what you feel is too much for you at different parts and times of your life or year. So let's have a look at this magazine. Think about, I'm going to talk about the different styles that there are. You might find inspiration from wool that's even already on your shelf or in your yarn stock. So it's definitely something to think about. Is this more inspiration rather than I have to definitely knit that? Something that you might be able to say, I love this knitting pattern, but I just want to use those colours or that style of stitching in my knitting soon. Let's have a go. Let's see what we can find in this knitting magazine and I'll enjoy it with you. I'll see you at the end. Here we are with the cardboard package that this came in, and it is beautifully wrapped in tissue paper, so we don't need this anymore. Neither do we actually need, oh, I've got a letter as well. Let's have a look, shall we? Because a lot of this is inspired by the UK, so I'm interested to see whether we're looking at the British coast with the idea of coastal catwalk. Let's see, shall we? We're wrapped up in tissue. The theme of the Rowan magazine, they've actually given it a name, Emerge. So there we go. That is quite a feast on the front there. A dress or perhaps a skirt and a jumper. Isn't that beautiful mixture of colours? We have grey, possibly chocolate brown, maybe a dark burgundy. We've got a cinnamony orange and a limey avocado green maybe. Very nice. So these are designers who are involved in this autumn's magazine. Kathy Fassett, Martin Story, Georgie Farrell, Lisa Richardson and Chloe Thurrell. We're all familiar with those names. If you've done any Rowan, had any Rowan magazines before, looked at any Rowan patterns, they will be very familiar names. Some of them have been designing since the 80s, I think. But there you go. Okay, so we have a black and white image on the front, and then we go straight into the contents. Another skirt of sorts. That is suggesting the coastal catwalk. We then move into kid classic, and then we look at fibre focused. I am just going to move the video up slightly so you can see this better. There we go. You can now see the whole magazine in the image. Okay, so we do have coastal catwalk, and obviously a lot of the images are set on the coast. Should we just get looking? So we start with the photographs, basically. Oh, wow. A collection of top to toe knits. As we've already seen, we've got a skirt here. Reimagining knitwear from head to toe. What a beautiful landscape. I want that on my computer wallpaper. That's lovely. And we have a very similar flower design in the scarf there. That's the Merlot scarf. You can see the pattern repeated there. And it looks like it's just done in a different colour. What the good thing about this is it does suggest lots of different ways you can wear this. I'm guessing. Oh, it's a completely different outfit because she's wearing trousers there. So you have it with a coat, you have it with a cardigan and a jumper, possibly a dress underneath. So many different ways to wear things and match them with different colours. Knitted in the round, that scarf with 5 shades of fine tweed haze, adding floral motifs with bands of fair isle stripes. Cool. Here we are. We have, is this a dress or is it a skirt? Pull-on ribbed skirt, Vivienne, in felted tweed. I knew it was going to be felted tweed here somewhere. 2 contrasting shades, worked using intarsia method for the ultimate colour block effect. And we have a V-neck cardigan. We don't know what's underneath there yet. Possibly it's the Stella alpaca classic crew neck ribbed sweater there and there. Yeah, it very likely is that. That's actually a beautiful green, isn't it? Alpaca classic. We'll find out in the knitting instructions at the end of the magazine what colour she's using there. That's a beautiful foresty green. And then we have a boxy fit V-neck cardigan. So this is something to think about. When you're looking at patterns, how do you wear your clothes? Do you like the dropped shoulder? Do you like the V-neck or the crew neck? Here you can see just about that we have the seam going around the edge of the shoulder there. So it's not dropped and it's not a raglan which goes diagonally from the underarm up to the collar. So that is very defining. If you like a defined shoulder point, then this is the kind of knit you want. Here we have the drop shoulder, which can make it very boxy. That's what it's described as, a boxy V-neck cardigan. It does generally mean you have more width underneath here, so it's not fitted as much. This is understated elegance, this one. Yeah, I kind of agree. It's short. You can see that it pretty much meets the top of the skirt here. So I like that. And we have different colours, but it's following the same ribbing design. There you go. And now we just have it. Same thing in different colours. I love that they've done that. It does make a difference. It gives you the idea of what could you do if. How would it look if? And what would you wear it with if? That's a beautiful yellow jumper, isn't it? I love that. That is the skirt in felted tweed, the scarf Oscar in the fresh palette of blues and yellows, and the Donatella felted tweed. That's the cardigan there. I've got so many things on. We have the Donatella cardigan, the Oscar scarf, and the Vivienne skirt. So which is the jumper? The Stella jumper. Okay, so that's the Stella jumper in Alpaca Classic, and they've got it in yellow, mustardy yellow here, instead of the blue. Again, the background, the landscape behind her is beautiful. Just the spikes of green and beige with the with the dried up grass. We're going into the forest green again. So we'll find out, I think, what these are. We have the scarf, which is the Mark scarf. Betsy dress, that's quite a short dress. Maybe it'll give you an option to knit it longer. And the gilet, which is a very long gilet, is the Donna. Doesn't tell you which yarn you're using for that yet. Possibly it's the same scarf as we were looking at earlier. I don't think it's the Oscar, it's slightly different. Yes, it's the Mark scarf. Okay. So the Donna is the long gilet in Alpaca Classic. We have more Alpaca Classic. Oh, it's got a hood. That's nice. This is slightly overreaching the shoulder, so be aware of that. If you do a lot of sitting, it's one thing I don't like jersey for like trousers or dresses, because with my health I do a lot of sitting. It tends to stretch. If you're only wearing this to go out, if you're only wearing this when you're standing, then it's not going to stretch and become misshapen or worn where you're sitting on it. So there is that as well. Be aware of that if you want to knit something like that. And that's the dress that we saw earlier. So that's the Betsy dress in Alpaca Classic. We have the defined shoulder points and like a boat neck to it. This describes it as classically stylish sweater dress, offering comfort, warmth, versatility, knit and pearl. It does add, if you mix up the knit and pearl, it adds texture and it draws the stitches together a bit more, which means that it is that little bit warmer. Knitted using the luxurious blend of Alpaca Classic. There we go. And if I remember rightly, Alpaca Classic is DK. I'm pretty sure. And the Mark scarf. There we go. We saw that on the very first page, didn't we? There. She's in the background. Now we can see it more close up. Alpaca Classic. It is a more fuzzy, textured yarn. And if you... Now this is the interesting thing. You would look at this and go, oh, it looks like it's mohair. That's really going to scratch. But with it being alpaca, it could actually be quite cozy and smooth, even though it's quite fuzzy. It's interesting. It's a blend. I honestly can't remember what's in Alpaca Classic. Let me look it up while I'm sat here. Okay. It's alpaca and cotton, so it could be actually quite delicate, quite soothing to the skin. So I'd definitely go and feel it in a shop, see what you think. And lots of shops will also have samples of the Alpaca Classic knitted up. And if you want to knit this kind of thing, because there has been quite a few Alpaca Classic patterns already, you could just get one ball of this yarn, see how it feels once you've knitted it up, and then go for it if you want to. This is certainly a statement scarf, isn't it? As it says there, traditional style statement. And if you have the fair old technique down and ready to go, knitted in the round, it will be easy because every stitch will be a knit stitch. It's a really nice winter project. You may not have it finished until February, but after that you'll have it year after year after year after year. So that kind of knit in different colours as well. It doesn't just have to be in this lilac-y pink and the green. You could do it in blue and yellow, as it was suggested for the other scarf back here. You could do it in grey and red for a real deep feel of autumn winter. Just make the choices yourself depending on what coats you wear, what trousers or skirts you wear or dresses. Really match it to what you want in your wardrobe, and that could last you for years, decades even. But yes, it could be a real statement and you keep it for a long time. It will be double thickness, as that says, double thickness, super cozy, because it's knitted in the round. That's really nice. Okay, We have the same items in different colours now. So we have the long gilet in navy blue. We have the dress in like a tealy turquoise, and that scarf, like I suggested, you could do it in different colours, and that's in navy and orange and yellow. That's nice. I like that. There we go. With her long autumn boots on. Cool, I like that with a navy back to it. Can I have some, please? It looks like we have a different dress. We have a scarf, which is a really thin one. Cool. We have a dress. Now, what is happening with knitted dresses? That's 3, or is it, we've got 3 dresses so far and a skirt. That's going a decent way to say something is going on this year and dresses are in if they're knitted. Right. Do you want that kind of project? It'd be interesting. We'll look at the end and see how many balls of yarn you need for a dress. That would be cool to find out, wouldn't it? So we have a scarf, we have a dress, we have a shorter gilet with a border to it, and somewhere around here there's a shoulder bag. Oh, that there is her shoulder bag that she's wearing as a overbody, and that is the scarf at the top there. Okay, yeah, you can just see it tucking under her arm there, and she's got those same boots on that I want. Okay, let's have a closer look. That's a cool shoulder bag, isn't it? I'll be interested, is it lined? Because that could stretch quite a bit, couldn't it? I'll be interested. That sleeve is attached all the way up to the collar. So we don't have a defined shoulder. We have a sleeve that goes all the way up to the collar point, which means we have defined seams halfway round the arm, and it matches that edging we have there in the middle of the skirt. Okay, that's cool. And there's actually quite an interesting pattern here on the gilet. So it's a Vera dress and the Carolina gilet. Okay. Isabel neckerchief. Okay, I think that's that. It was described as a scarf before, but that is it with the tie at the front, and that is it with the tie at the back. That's quite nice. It's probably a very small project with maybe just one ball of yarn. And we can see more clearly here, this is not a cable, it is a lace. I thought it was a cable from afar, but that's a lace pattern there going up the sleeve. And the sleeve is a 3/4 sleeve. So it really will depend on how you want to wear it, whether you want a longer sleeve underneath it in a t-shirt fabric somehow, or whether you can actually lengthen the sleeves so that it's that little bit longer if you want them all the way down to the wrist. Yep, and that's the crossbody bag that's knitted. Again, that's a small project. That's going to be 1 or 2 balls of yarn. And if you fancy doing that, then it's just something that you can pick out of this magazine and say, I did it. I knitted something from the magazine. Right, what have we got next? We have quite a piece here, and that is from the front cover. We can't see the neck line at the moment, obviously, because she's wearing the scarf around her neck, or as I think that's described, the shawlette. So there's an option to wear a dress. I'm not sure whether they're splitting that up into a dress whole pattern or option of knitting it in a sweater and a skirt as 2 separates. What Rowan is doing now is offering the whole kit. So you don't just buy the pattern. They will do you a whole kit with the colourways that they've chosen. So here you could buy that whole kit for the whole of that dress and a skirt and top, with all of the yarn that you need. So that's an option. I do like that with the edging on it. That's cool. And we have a whole new setup with the natural white colour dress, green shoulder bag, and the mustardy. That's quite a dark, I'm going to call it a muted yellow. Soft yellows they call it. Gilet. There we go. That's how they've done it in a dress. So it's kind of just joined together with that ribbing in the middle. And now we can see the roll neck collar. And that's quite a feat, isn't it? That is quite a job, knitting all of that. I'm really interested in how much yarn you need for it. Because it's not just the fact that it's a big job with a lot of yarn. It's all of the different cables going around the skirt as well. And around the jumper. If you look to what we were saying before, we have the drop shoulder. So it's almost like a bat wing. It is breathtaking. You walk down the road in that, I think people will notice. You could just pick those colours up and knit a scarf in it and say, hang on a minute, I want people to notice me, but not quite so much. Gianni dress. Cool. And she's just got your average woven tweed coat on there with the stripy scarf. That's nice. I like it. And that is felted tweed. I could have guessed. Combining felted tweed and fine tweed haze in stripes of various depths. I've just been knitting a load of scarves. I've done it in a rib rather than in stocking stitch. You can see the back there. I actually really like the effect that you get on the back of a stocking stitch scarf because of all the joins of the colours. It's a really interesting effect, isn't it? And they haven't worried about the fact that it's obviously going to roll in at the edges. That's okay. It's just the way a scarf happens when you're knitting it wide like that. That's okay. It actually looks really cool. It's going to be warmer because it's rolled in on itself, and you can wrap it more times than you might imagine. Again, I'm wondering how many balls of yarn you use for that. Would it be one of each? Because that would be blue, natural, beigey colour, chocolate brown, lime and red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 balls of yarn. That's not as much as I thought it might be. Surely they don't need more than one of each. One would hope not. Because it's felted tweed DK is about 100, 200 metres on each ball, I think. Something like that. And we have another felted coat there with Sandy. That's it. Sandy is the felted fine tweed haze shawl. I do like that with the edging. So we have like a pinky red one there and the darker blue. The tweed makes a big difference, doesn't it? It just, those different pops of colour. And still we've got the background, all the landscape to look at as well in these photos. We have been focusing mostly on the images of the items, but that reminds me, not of Anglesey, but of the coast on the south coast of Hampshire. All the rock pooling that we used to do. Oh dear. Now, that looks good in a different colour. I do like that. It's just slightly more subtle because that is the same design as that one, but it's not 1, 2, 3, 4 different colours. It's 2 different colours. That makes a huge difference. Again, we still have the back wing kind of effect with the lower shoulder seam, but it makes a big difference. And here we have the skirt that is, again, in just the 2 colours. That does make a big difference. I like that. It's quite an interesting effect that you get. You see that a lot more, I think, that diamond front to it, triangle front to it. This sweater features bold vertical cables and rich textures designed to complement the matching skirt or stand alone as a striking addition to your winter wardrobe. Yeah, and we're featuring the Gianni skirt here as well. And we've got a whole information about Anglesey in North Wales. That lighthouse is quite a sight, isn't it? There you go. You can read the whole of that if you get the magazine. Now, 25 years ago, as the world excitedly ushered in a new millennium, oh good gracious, Y2K. 25 years ago, really? Here in Rowan? What I remember about 1999 is in the summer there was a solar eclipse in Europe, and I went with my then boyfriend to the northwest of France, Brittany, I think, and we went to Monet's garden at Giverny, and we sat in a little village for the solar eclipse. That's one of the main things I remember in 1999. But yeah, Y2K, that was fun, wasn't it? So yes, there's a whole story about Kid Classic making its debut in Rowan magazine 28, a bewitching new yarn that's become one of the most enduring and most popular. Yes, it has indeed. It's had quite a story. Let's double check the content of Kid Classic. So, okay, we have 70% wool, 22% mohair and 8% polyamide. And it's 50 grams. It's an Aran weight wool, so that's 5 to 5.5 millimeters. Needles 8 to 9 US. So it's a medium weight yarn. 50 grams, 140 meters. It is a sturdy yarn. You can just see that from the way this is made up. I'd say they're using a smaller needle on that because it looks like it's quite a tight stitch pattern as it's held together. But the edging also looks quite loose. It's anyway. It's a joy to knit with, just as lovely to wear. That's going to be quite a thick midwinter cardigan, I would say. Right, let's look at the patterns. Oh, look at this. Mohair wool and the dyeing of it. You can see it's quite a fluffy, gentle, soft yarn there. And it's talking about the environmental impact there as well. They do have lots of rules in place about how it's made up through the Rowan system of yarn production. That is a lovely cardigan. It's very similar to a couple of cardigans that I've got. This has got the raglan sleeve, so it's got the diagonal shape going from the underarm up to the collar, rather than having the defined shoulder there. And obviously it's actually got quite a tight crew neck. It's going to keep you warm. You could wear it with a roll neck, like a turtleneck underneath. That would be nice in the middle of winter. And this is where the photos are taken in Hampshire somewhere. Couldn't tell you where. It's just a house in Hampshire. So we have, this design is called Prized. It's by Martin Story. Beautiful cables and diamond patterns. It's so classic, isn't it? I mean, that's why probably they're using the classic yarn. But it's just such a classic cardigan. You could have been wearing this 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 100 years ago, and you can wear it today. No one would think there was anything wrong with it. And this as well, that's such a classic. And using this stitch pattern here, it looks like fisherman's rib. It's really going to draw the stitches together and make it so much warmer. So again, it's something, even also with the ferrule pattern around the collar and the yoke, that is going to keep it warmer too, because it's got two pieces of yarn held together to just keep that pattern in place. So it is going to be a warmer cardigan if that's what you'd like. Subtle mock rib texture, waist length cardigan, contrast trims at the hem. Oh yes, I can just see that. And at the collar, cuff as well, along with raglan shaping. Yeah, it is an everyday knit. You could wear this whenever you like. And this is a little bit more formal. It's a knitted jacket, and that's Cherish by Lisa Richardson. And that's got the shoulder definition, and that's cool, isn't it? It's got the shape at the back, just like a little extra piece there, holding the back in place, holding the shape in place at the back. This could have been in a magazine 20 years ago, 40 years ago. Definitely 40 years ago, because of the boxy, oversized shape to it. But that looks so comfortable, doesn't it? Just slouching on the sofa on a Saturday morning, or going out to do your weekly shop or something. Comfy, oversized turtleneck sweater, Amour. Easy to wear all season long. Yeah, you just change what you've got underneath it. That's generally what I do. I was wearing a wool jumper the other day with a t-shirt underneath it, short sleeve. And then like the next day I had a long sleeve t-shirt because I just wanted that extra bit of layer. And then because it was warm and humid for a few days, I didn't wear it. I'll probably get it out again next week. Oh wow, that really is cropped, isn't it? This is Amour. It's just different spelling. Cropped v-neck with a very defined raglan sleeve point there. But there's some lovely complex cables on that. It's lovely. Lisa Richardson does do cables well. That makes a difference, doesn't it? We have such a similar jumper to that one, but we have the texture. This is Kid Classic. What was that one? That one's Kid Classic as well. But it's very similar shape, very similar style, but we have the texture on it. It makes such a difference. And on this one, we have the ribbing. And on this one, we just have the garter stitch at the base, at the hem there, to define it. That's nice. I like the way we've got such a same shape. So if you like wearing that shape, you could actually make both jumpers, knit both jumpers. But we have the definition in this, the checkerboard colour there, texture. Combination of knit and purl stitches, highlighting the yarn's beautiful stitch definition. Exactly, yeah, it is the definition that makes the difference. It bringing subtle structure to this cozy oversized sweater. And this, you're going to wear that and it's not going to stretch. I mean, I saw someone on YouTube, I won't name them, who wears lots of jumpers on her videos. And she was just doing a daily vlog, which is, you know, like she kind of does it once a month or something. But she was showing us, she's decluttering some of her wardrobe, and all of her jumpers were hanging on clothes hangers in the wardrobe. And that's when you get problems with this kind of jumper. Well, I mean, any knitwear really. You're going to get the coat hanger, the clothes hanger, just poking out the side of the shoulders. Not only that, you're going to get the sleeves and the main body just lengthening because of the weight, bringing it down. So yeah, be very aware of that, but how you store your jumpers. This will probably manage it a bit better because the stitches are giving it a bit more definition and holding it all together a bit better. But really, please fold them up. Don't hang them in the wardrobe. This one is called Lust. And this one is Chloe Thurlow. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's a really different way of knitting a jumper, isn't it? Because the way, I can't imagine. It's possibly knitted in, yeah, top down. Yes, I was about to say that. So it's top down, and the way that you shape it, and probably drop stitches and add stitches to different places, just gives you that shape. If we turn the magazine upside down, you might be able to see how it works. You cast on there, and then you just change the shape, and you add stitches here and you add stitches here. So this bit around the chest and coming from the crew neck here, that all stays the same until you reach the sides. But here you increase and here you increase. So you get the definition coming from the middle and the sides. But this bit really plays a big part in saying, this is where the collar is, this is where the side is, and really actually giving you a bit of definition around the shoulder seam there as well. That's cool. That's an interesting way to knit something like that. Ah, here we go. I was wondering if we might have something like this. It's such a classic, and it is very rare that we don't have a tank top or what you might call a vest with a ferrule pattern in a Rowan magazine. And here it is. With a beautiful tweed coat as well. I want that. But I love those colours. And it matches the house at the back there. It's very autumnal. They must have done these photographs this time last year. Let's be honest. Probably November, because there are no leaves on the trees. But yeah. Very nice. Or ferrule pattern, but only around the hem and the cuffs there. That's such a plain shape, and it's very similar to something that we saw earlier. Now let me find it. There we go. Very similar shape to that, but this one has definition around the shoulder. You could knit this plain if you wanted to. You don't have to add the ferrule. There is that option, but it's the crew neck. It's the buttons down the front, and that's got the raglan sleeve. This has got the shoulder definition. Makes a difference. It does make a big difference. That's nice, and that's called Dearest. Neat fitting, waist length, classic charm with everyday ease. And then we've got the pattern around the hem and the cuffs. Oh, we've got another long cardigan with 3 buttons at the front. That's nice. That's something you wear around the house, just like she's wearing in the garden. Deep garter stitch pockets. Oh, lovely. And we have a lacy scarf. Both of these are Lisa Richardson, did it say? Yes. And all in Kid Classic. There's another long scarf. That must be 4 or 5 balls of yarn, I'd say. Especially as the Kid Classic comes in 50 grams and it's only 140 metres. So possibly it might even be 5 or 6. Soft, flowing knit drapes, beautifully adding a touch of delicate elegance. It really does depend on your style and what you're after. A stripy scarf would do the same job as this lace one, but what do you fancy? Here we go. What are we talking about? He's rewriting the rules of colour. So I'll let you read that. You get, obviously, 3 whole pages about this. Cafe Facet has been known for the way that he uses colour. Year after year after year after year. So it's an absolute joy to see some of these. here we go. This is the first one he's given to this magazine. Look at that. That's astonishing, isn't it? It's lovely. Here we are using 3 or 4 balls of yarn across the sweater, and as it says here, it's the intarsia technique. It is very classic, signature geometric patterning. So you're knitting that, you're casting on here, knit, 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 add stitches, knit, 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 add, reduce stitches, knit, 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 knit. So you're knitting it sideways. And that is the Bargello or Bargello jumper. Oh, and here we go. We have the patterns. So we were going to look at a few things, weren't we? How many balls of yarn does the dresses take? That's the scarf. That's the scarf. Oh, wow. You actually need 3 balls of yarn for maybe the background for that one. And this one, that's a lot of yarn. Crikey. I never imagined you'd need 6 balls of one yarn to knit that up. Oh, Alpaca Classic is 25 grams. Okay, that explains it. And that is fine tweed haze. Okay, which is 50 grams. So for that short dress, you'd need between 10 and 20 balls of yarn. 10 is for the very smallest size. Let's go average 40 to 44 inch chest. That's 14, 15 balls of yarn. That's the short dress. Let's find the long dresses. Oh, hang on a minute. The shoulder bag. Just 1 ball of yarn of each. There you go. And 1 ball of yarn, but you could use scraps. What have you got left over? Oh, here's the dress. So this is the long dress with the lace pattern down the sleeve and the skirt. And that needs, again, between 10 and 19 balls of yarn. And that is in felted tweed DK. So that's 50 grams. And the middle, between 40 and 46 inch chest, 13 and 14 balls of yarn. Okay. All of these patterns can get very complex, as you can see. And on a lot of them, they do actually give you the instructions. I think, yeah, it doesn't give you the patterns in text. It tells you to follow the chart. Yes, that's right. So a lot of this is about reading charts as well. Be aware of that when you pick a pattern. Decide whether you're willing to follow a chart, whether you followed a chart before, whether this will be brand new to you. I do have Fair Isle and Intarsia videos on the channel, so go and have a look at them first. Watch other people knitting Fair Isle and Intarsia if you want to do any of these. It will really help you just get the idea of how it works if you've never done it before. And pick a small one first. So something like a scarf, but you could just knit a square of it and use it as a mug cozy or something. But if that's as far as you want to go and you can't face doing the whole scarf, this doesn't need to be a loss. You could certainly use what you've knitted. The scarf. So the background one is 2. We have 1, 1, 1 and 1. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls of yarn. Yeah, I mean, that's what we were suggesting. Obviously, I'd completely forgotten they got the fringe on the end here. That makes a big difference because that is a lot of yarn in that fringe. That's a very long fringe. 44 centimetres long, which means you're folding that in half. Okay. 208 lengths of yarn, 44 centimetres long. That's a lot of fringe. Okay, so we have all the patterns at the back here. And then remember, there's the fitting guide, so you knit the right size, techniques and tips all over this, and telling you where you can buy your yarn. If you want to go to a shop and get your yarn, it does give you the ideas here about where to go, along with the websites. These are the main shops. But if you go on the website, there are a lot more, lots of them. And the distributors are different as well. So go and have a look on the website for all of the shops that will sell you Rowan yarn. There we go. And that is a very quick look if you've forgotten where your pattern is. Easy to find it at the back. There you go. And that's all the information about the photographers as well. Location. Oh, there we go. The Kid Classic was in Hampshire, the Clock House. I'll go and look that up and find out where it is. Okay, so that is Rowan magazine, number 78. Hi, and welcome back. Okay, I'm filming the next day, so my hair's a bit more fuzzy, and the light's not very good because it's afternoon. So let's talk about what we just looked at. So the magazine, I don't know whether there's anything in there I want to knit. I am kind of tempted by the neckerchiefs, the triangle, just because I've got the pattern. And I might actually have the yarn just sitting, waiting to be knitted. So in the magazine we used felted tweed, and they didn't clarify that it was DK, not Aran. But I think they would have said felted tweed Aran if it was Aran. Otherwise they just tend to call it felted tweed. They used to have a felted tweed chunky, by the way. I can remember having a pattern in the old magazine that was for felted tweed chunky mittens. So that was fun. We also had Alpaca Classic, Kid Classic, Fine Tweed Haze and Kid Silk Haze. So there's, I've got it all written down here. So there's quite a few different yarns there. An interesting mixture. Most of it was DK or thin DK, and there were a couple, I think it's the Kid Classic that might be the slightly thicker yarn, so you use 4.5, 5mm needles, that sort of thing. So yeah, it was a mixture of yarns. Actually, I quite liked the mixture of yarns and the different colours and textures that we got through this. If there was anything in here that you want to knit, you don't actually have to get the magazine. They do sell a lot of these patterns over on the website, so that is knitwear.com. I'm not an affiliate or anything, I'm just letting you know. You can get the patterns. They also sell them as kits, but you can have yarn off of your leftover shelf and you could swap with a friend. You could probably find yarn that's cheap at the moment as well, because maybe there are still Black Friday sales on. I'm not sure when I'm posting this. But yeah, you don't have to buy the whole magazine just to knit one thing. Very likely, sometimes there are patterns in here, like for example the Cafe Facet colourful knit right at the end, the zigzag knit. That isn't available on the website, it's only available in the magazine. One thing I did notice is we had lots of scarves in this, and we obviously had the neckerchief shawly things. That was a nice change to actually have a triangle shawl to keep you warm, but there wasn't a hat. We had one hat last year and we had a cowl last year. We had 3 scarves this year. We didn't have mittens, which would be unusual because I don't think they usually do have mittens in these. But yeah, I was filming this even a couple of months ago, I think, and I hadn't actually opened the parcel yet, so I had no idea what I was looking at. So this was a fresh unboxing. Let's just look at the magazine because I haven't seen anything. I think I went to a Rowan event in the summer just because I'm on their yarn distributor list. I don't do a lot of that anymore. And I never did a great deal of it anyway. I'm a retail store, kind of. But yeah, I think I went to one of their events and they just kind of showed us a few things and the yarns that were going to be in the magazine for the autumn winter, but I certainly didn't remember it when I opened up the magazine. One thing I think is a real shame for this magazine is the cover. It looks kind of corporate. Do you agree with me? What do you think? If you compare it to last year's, it is just so inviting and warm and cosy and autumnal. I mean, it does help that she's got beautiful ginger hair, but she's got ginger hair on here and you wouldn't know it. I think she's got red hair. It looks like she's kind of squashed into a box. And if you want to knit something, you want to be kind of invited and hugged as you move into pick the magazine up. I don't think that was a very good idea of theirs, marketing wise. I don't feel that inspired to pick it up. It's a lovely picture on the front, but again, actually, you don't see the full beauty of what's in that pattern because you don't see the whole thing, you don't see the shape, you can obviously see that it's a skirt and a top that go together, but I'd like to see more of it, and I think I'd like to have seen a better photograph and all over the magazine front like they do on, I mean, I'm probably imagine they still do that on Vogue magazine and all this kind of stuff, but yeah, the photo is supposed to be the invite to just grab it and go. I'm not sure they did a very good job with that. Is there anything in there that you want to knit? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, possibly I would knit one of the shawl scarf things. But I mean, how many scarves and cowls have I already got? Quite a lot, actually. They are knitting that I do because I make the patterns for them. So I knit them and I've got the samples and then I go, oh, I fancy wearing that. So I do. Yeah, possibly I will, but it would be an ideal gift for a friend. And the one that I looked at, let me find it. Let me just... there you go. Sandy, that one there. That is in a DK, so it's a 4mm needles, but it's only 2 balls of yarn. I think that would be a lovely knit just now to give her a Christmas gift. I think 2 balls of DK yarn, fine, rather felted tweed DK, would actually be quite doable before Christmas. So that might be nice. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for watching and being here with me, and obviously coming back or being here new. And if you are new, then do subscribe. Yes, I'm not about on YouTube as much as I used to be at the moment. I've not been well this year. It's not been an easy thing to just kind of say, no, that's something I can't prioritise at the moment. I've got to prioritise my health, of course. So I will be back when I can and live with the flow. I will see you again soon, and I will certainly see you in the comments. Bye for now. Happy knitting.